with a Week 17 loss to the Giants. Mike Garafolo is back with us now, and something had to happen in Dallas, and tonight the team made some changes, Mike.
That's right. Mike McCarthy letting go veteran defensive coordinator Mike Nolan, as well as noted defensive line coach Jim Tomsula. Now, there was talk during the season the players weren't buying into Nolan's system, so would they change the players in the offseason to guys who would, or would they change Nolan? We got our answer today. Nolan out, and a lot of folks, a lot of veteran coordinators out there, I'm hearing from them saying, boy, I'd be interested in that job there, because there is talent on that side of the ball. So we'll see where Dallas winds up going there. Meanwhile, speaking of Dallas, how about former Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett interviewing with the Los Angeles Chargers on Friday? I tweeted out the other day when Rap Sheep broke this. I said, this guy's a good coach. I like it, Chargers. Boy, did I get some replies. And I actually heard from a Chargers source saying, what is Twitter's problem? This guy's a good coach. It's hard to be the head coach of the Cowboys. Mike McCarthy finding that out right now. Garrett actually did a good job down there. Chargers very intrigued by the possibility of Garrett. Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers, interviewed with the Jets after meeting with the Lions and Falcons earlier in the week. He's got the Jaguars and the Chargers on Saturday. A lot of folks have connected him to Detroit. I gather he is very intrigued about that job, the Michigan guy potentially returning home. And Urban Meyer, the longtime college coach, as our Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero first reported, met with the Jaguars regarding their vacancy on Friday. This is a really intriguing one, and there was a lot of thought that, if Meyer wants it, he can get it on the spot. Well, we are all told that Jacksonville plans to go through their search process, which includes at least Saleh on Saturday. And from a former Big Ten coach to a current Big Ten coach, Jim Harbaugh got an extension 4 years through the 2025 season. There was a little bit of chatter and some NFL teams that did check in, but in the end, Michigan keeps Harbaugh at least for the short term. And one other note, it's Ian Rappaport's birthday on Saturday. He was supposed to be here tonight. I filled in for him. I'm out of breath after that hit. You're welcome, Rappaport.
Mike G, you've been on air since Good Morning Football this morning, so I would say that's plenty gift for anyone whose birthday, and a gift to us as well. Mike Garafolo, go get some rest, my friend. Thank you. All right, one of our Sunday Wild Card games here. Hoping to see this man still uncertain for Sunday's game with an ankle. Michael Thomas missing several games throughout the season for New Orleans, of course, would be a very helpful piece as they get ready to face the Chicago Bears. All right, JJ and D-Halls. The Saints have had an interesting season, to say the least, right? Michael Thomas's injury situation. Then Drew Brees got hurt. Now Alvin Kamara on the COVID-19 reserve list. I mean, it goes on and on. But can they prevail on Sunday despite all of this adversity over the Bears, James Jones?
Absolutely. And I think this is the most clear-cut game we got all weekend. Is the Saints versus the Bears. I do not think the Bears have enough. And listen, their defense is big time. You have Khalil Mack, you have Eddie Jackson, you have a bunch of players over there. But this Saints team is just going to be too much. Their defense is going to be too much for Mitchell Trubisky. I do not see the Bears having a chance in this game, as you can see my score. 37-24 Saints.
Yeah, JJ, I'm 100% with you. I think when you look at the slate of games, this one is probably the clear-cut one that you look at and you say, man, I tell you what, the Saints are going to have a good time, because Mitchell Trubisky and that Bears offense is still trying to figure out a real formula for success. And I know they've looked a lot better toward the back half of the season, but when you go up against a defense like the Saints, man, when they got some ball-hawking guys in that secondary that will get after you. And so, yeah, any way you slice this game up, I have the Saints 33, Bears 10. Sorry, guys. Great season, but it comes to an end this weekend.
All right, James, you were a little relieved there. Don't worry. Let me add a little bit more joy to your life. I also have the Saints 27-20 taking this one. I just think what they've done this season, how they've still been able to win games the way they have despite everything else. They got the dub, continue to play January football. All right, guys, thank you. And from conditioning and strength training to proper nutrition and recovery, NFL athletes are always looking for ways to gain an edge on the field. In the latest installment of Gaining Greatness presented by Sleep Number, we meet the footwork king, Rashad Whitfield, who trains some of the league's biggest stars and helps them stay one step ahead of their opponents.
We gotta do be quick. Good. My name is Rashad Whitfield, and I am a movement specialist. My footwork training program is designed to help athletes move quickly, accurately, and efficiently at their position.
One step here. Pop, all right?
NFL is a precision league. The room for error is very slim. Everything has to be efficient and detailed. It all starts with your feet.
See? Yes, sir. Real good. Come back, let's go.
I consider myself like a blacksmith, okay? I take the skills that these pros already have, I put them in the fire, take them out the fire, beat the impurities off, and give it back to them guys that lethal weapons so they can destroy everybody on the field.
Go. Good. Get out of one. Go. There you go. I like that footwork, man. I like that footwork.
Ooh, that blacksmith analogy. All right, you can check out the full episode and discover more of these stories at NFL.com/gaining greatness. All right, coming up next, we're talking upsets. They are always a little unexpected, but they are also completely unavoidable because the fact is we see them every single NFL postseason. Question is, do we see any of this on the schedule for this weekend? That's next. It's one of my favorite segments of the week. It's time for... Best crew in the biz, always getting in on the fun. All right, D Hall and James Jones. I stretched. I'm ready. My mind is right. Let's go because you know it gets live in Upset Alert. James Jones starting with the Ravens and Titans. Who wins this one?
Lamar Jackson is ready to deliver and get his first playoff win. This team right here, the Baltimore Ravens, are playing the right football at the right time. It's not too many teams in this playoffs that can say that. They can. They are getting hot at the right time. This Tennessee defense is not very good. I do not see them slowing down Lamar Jackson in this run game. Lamar Jackson is throwing the ball better from the pocket. This Baltimore team is going out there. They're going to handle business and win this ball game.
Hey, JJ, it's funny you talk about them defenses because this is two physical offenses. And so I think it's going to come down to what defense can be the most physical with those ball carriers, right? And look at this Ravens defense, man, the way they've been playing, the way they've been getting after guys. It's hard for me when I watch Tennessee play defense to say, okay, I like that team. I know what Derrick Henry brings to the party, but I need that defense to bring a little something extra too. Baltimore defense brings it, like you said. Lamar Jackson playing a lot better. I like the Ravens 24-17 in this one.
Lamar Jackson, is that his government name? We got to check on that from research. All right, listen. Usually, gentlemen, the team that is hosting sort of has the leg up here. And listen, JJ, nobody can see this. Well, you can't see this, but there's a huge Derrick Henry image right next to you. And I almost went with the Titans, but no. It's the Ravens. It's the Ravens that I'm picking. By the way, the last 4 times these two teams met in the postseason, the road team has won the game. So just put that in your pocket and think about it. All right, next up, Colts and Bills. And before we get to your picks on this, let's set the scene with a little travel photo. Wheels up! Posting from the Indianapolis Colts account, T.Y. Hilton ready to go there. So are they traveling? Thinking upset here. D Hall, who has this one?
Oh my goodness, MJ. When I watch the Buffalo Bills play, I just smile. When I watch what Brian Daboll and Sean McDermott have done with Josh Allen, I smile because you're talking about developing a quarterback. Any team that's looking for how to develop a quarterback, just look at how the Buffalo Bills have put weapons around Josh Allen. Stephon Diggs is an all-pro receiver. Cole Beasley, he was thrown away in Dallas, and he is balling. They have players on every level of that offense. Josh Allen is the man. I like the Bills. 31-17 in this one.
You know, D Hall, when we was 15-1, playing a home playoff game as the Green Bay Packers, when I watch film, I smiled too. And the New York Giants came in that building and they was smiling too because they beat the brakes off us. Filthy. Phillip Rivers and the Indianapolis Colts is smiling right now too because they got a pretty doggone good football team as well. That defense is balling. Filthy is finding the guys. They are running the air out of the football with Jonathan Taylor. I like Filthy Phillip Rivers, and the Colts are going to go out here to Buffalo and spoil the great season the Buffalo Bills has had. I know Bills Mafia doesn't want to hear that, but Filthy is coming to town. He's going to deliver a playoff win for the Colts. I got the Colts in this one, and it's a close one, 35-31. Indianapolis wins the ball game.
Now, see, here's the difference. JJ, you're expecting everything great to happen for the Colts and everything bad to happen for the Bills. I'm just expecting this to be the natural course of a football game, ebbs and flows. All right, trying to figure out, hey, how can I crack that? How can I get away from that? And I'm telling you, man, when you see Josh Allen, even if a guy's free, his ability to still make a guy miss, extend the play, he's 6'5", 240. Phillip Rivers ain't doing none of that, man. And you want Phillip Rivers? Come on, man.
Filthy Phillip Rivers. Hey, D-Hall. Hey, I'm going to come to D.C. and I'm going to watch this one with you, man, just so I can see your face when Filthy is lighting this thing up and the Colts win this game.
Phillip, 40 years old, man. Get him out of there.
Yeah, after that 50 burger the Bills put on the Miami Dolphins, I am not picking against them. Josh Allen, what he's done. Tip of the hat to you guys. I got the Bills taking this one as well. 27-21, also a close one, James. Simmer down. It's going to be all right. Promise. Guys, thanks. All right, the Colts have what some consider a secret weapon in player development, a former Green Beret. He's Brian Decker, the team's director of player development. On Total Access, the Locker Room podcast, Decker shares his story of going from the Army Special Forces to the draft room and how he uses those skills to find players. You can find the latest episode of Total Access, the Locker Room, streaming now on Apple, Spotify, and all your favorite places to get podcasts. Here's a peek.
This week on Total Access, the Locker Room. Tell us about your journey. Like, how do you go from the Green Berets to the National Football League?
Football is a tactical sport. It's about game planning. It's about scheme. It's about decision making. For people in the football world, I was essentially the general manager for Special Forces. I ran our selection process, our draft, our combine, our hiring process. Everybody that went in Special Forces for those 3 years went through my course.
How do you plan on attacking it this year with maybe limited access face-to-face with some of the draft picks?
I'm going to get my touches.
Yeah. Total Access, the Locker Room. Every Wednesday and Friday on Apple and Spotify.
Wow, and one of Brian Decker's proudest discoveries is all-pro linebacker Darius Leonard, an agent of destruction on the field and an agent of change off of it. Darius is the focus of an extraordinary story that we are proud to present. That's next on NFL Total Access. Play a game we call higher or lower, and for that, Cynthia Freeland is back here, and she's got some score projections you already know, so listen up. First up, Cynthia, Packers-Bears, higher or lower than 49 points?
Ooh, so in this one, we are going to, you said, which one would you said?
We're going with Packers-Bears first. Let's start there.
Okay, so Ravens-Titans, I have lower than 55 points in this one. So when I look to see what's going on in this game, it is all about an uptick potentially in that Tennessee defense that has been super porous. So for me, when I look to see what happens, they're going to keep it on the ground. You know what happens when you run the ball a lot? You don't score as many points. I'm not tipping who I think is going to win, but I do think it's going to be more on the ground than you expect.
See, Cynthia, always on point, even when I give her the wrong cue up. That's why I love you so much,
Happens,
girl.
you know?
All right, we got this. All right, Ravens-Titans, higher or lower than 55 points there?
All right, so now we're going to go to the Bears and the Saints. Right? 47 points is the number. And I have more points than that expected. Why? Because there's a bunch of missing pieces on this team on kind of both sides. Trey Hendrickson isn't playing. That means a better opportunity for Mitchell Trubisky and the Bears. But Alvin Kamara's back. And you know who else is back? Michael Thomas. So we got a lot of potential pieces that are going to see the end zone in this one.
Thank you for keeping me honest, Cynthia. All right, so the last one there. Remind me one more time in my ear for y'all. What's next? Browns Steelers. There we go. All right, Cynthia, give it to me.
Nailed it. All right, I have a lower than expected score in this one. Only 44 points. You're going to have to see what my final score is on Game Day View, which is next. But I have a lower than expected score. Missing pieces along the offensive line. I mean, it's going to be tougher for the Browns to kind of get it going. And we've seen that Steelers offense falter as well. So my model says it's going to be a slower than expected game.
All right, Cynthia, who always knows what's coming next. You can catch all of Cynthia's game and player projections on NFL Game Day View at 8 p.m. Eastern. That is right here on NFL Network. Thank you, Cynthia. All right, here in the football world, we all know Colts All-Pro linebacker Darius Leonard, but his family and him were racially profiled at a Chipotle in his own community. So as a result, Darius has vowed to use his voice and his platform to spread the message that Black Lives Matter. This season, Darius chose to wear that phrase on the back of his helmet. Watch as he explains what Black Lives Matter means to him.
Darius Leonard, the maniac, strips it, and the Colts have their takeaway.
The NFL helmet program just gives us an opportunity to go out and use our voice and our platform and step up and make change. The message I chose on the back of my helmet is Black Lives Matter. I chose Black Lives Matter because being a black male in America right now, it's tough. You see a lot of police brutality, a lot of things that goes on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about. I'm definitely here to bring it to the light.